Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Track. We post an interview with an amazing Canadian each weekday for your daily inspiration. Today, I would like to introduce you to one of my dear friends, Jennifer Rallison. Jennifer was born right here in Calgary. Lucky us. She's part of the third-generation Alberta family and a mom of three awesome kids. Besides her loved ones, Jennifer is passionate about maximizing life, traveling, hiking, and skiing in the Rockies, and always trying new experiences. Friends, you'll find her full bio attached. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Catherine, for having me.
Are you ready for the questions that we sent your way?
Yeah, have at
Awesome. Okay, the toughest one. What was your greatest challenge in the last few months?
Well, given everyone's new world reality, I think that there is a lot of commonalities of what everyone has been struggling with during lockdown. However, separate from that, one of my biggest challenges over the past few months is launching a CBD wellness brand in the UK. I'm fortunate enough to work for a Canadian cannabis company that is focused on the European market, and we've been building up to our launch since December, and we were on track with having in-person activations and getting to market in a very different world than what our world looks like now. So we've had to pivot and change considerably, considering that we are not able to be there in person, but then also leverage this new world reality into making it still commercially viable for our organization. So that's been a pretty significant challenge for me, and lots of different balls in the air coming at me, and every day is different.
Well, and you're such you're so great at presenting and being in front of people. It must have been very difficult to pivot. How long did you find it for yourself before you felt comfortable with what we would be calling our new world?
That's a great question. I would say at first, when everything was happening, we didn't anticipate it to go as for the remainder of 2020. We thought it would be just probably until the summer, at the very latest, the fall. And now our contingency planning is pushed quite a bit beyond that. So for the first couple months, it did take me a bit to get my head around because I just didn't think it would be that long. But as we further got into it, I realized that this isn't just a short-term adjustment that we need to make. We need to fundamentally change how we're coming to market. Once we got to that point, it was easier to make plans of how to move forward. But when you were living in this middle world of not being able to get over, not knowing what to do, having so much uncertainty, that I found much more challenging than just making it a declaration. Okay, this is what it's going to look like. How can we navigate that until 2021?
Yeah, that makes sense. And it sounds like it's a similar story to many that we've had on Cat's Track. Thank you for sharing that, Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
What are your three things that you want to share with the audience today?
I think just kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, and it sounds like lots of your other guests have been talking about, just the value in being fluid and seeing change and then adapting to it as an advantage rather than as a hurdle. One of the changes for us in what we're doing in our CBD wellness brand is we are really moving onto our e-commerce platform versus doing as much brick and mortar retail. That is actually a huge advantage for us. We have bigger margins. We are able to control the customer experience better. We're able to ourselves educate the experience through our blogs, through our social networks. So for us, even though it's a shift without being in as many retail locations, it's a huge advantage to us because we're able to make that much more of an impact on our consumer.
And it's a win-win-win all over the place, isn't it?
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Another takeaway, I have found that it is absolutely critical retaining strong connections in remote working. I started to see that a little bit going over to the UK and only being able to be there a week, maximum 2 a month, and then working from Calgary. So I really made it a priority to stay in touch. However, I think now that I've not been able to be over there for 6 months, I'm very thankful that I made the connections that I did and have continued to foster them, because they have just paid dividends in leaps and bounds. And I think that even is applicable in a more local setting as well. You sometimes take advantage that you just see XYZ grabbing coffee once a week, but really putting the effort in to retain those relationships, because how we are working now will be very different for the next foreseeable future.
It's so true. I think some of it's changed for good.
Oh, I do too. I completely agree with you. And then the third would be seeing an opportunity and seizing it. Throughout this process, for us, we had many different opportunities be presented our way, and we just intrinsically knew that it was the right collaboration, it was the right partnership, it was the right thing to do, even though we didn't have all of the logistics worked out. And that is, I think, like 101 of being a part of a startup, is that you have to trust your gut, and knowing that that's a good fit for your organization, and then figuring out the economics behind it to make sense. And when you have good partners come into your space, to not let them go. We've been really fortunate with that, with a collaboration that we've done with a California-based vape hardware company called Vessel, that we have created a partnership with them, and it has been absolutely worth its weight in gold. We've learned so much from them in terms of brand marketing, coming to market. Their products are exceptional, and we just feel so fortunate that we've been able to partner with them. And it was a fairly kind of random encounter that we connected, and it was the right thing to do. And I'm so thankful that both of us have made it a priority to work together, because we have such common values.
That's awesome. That is rare to find.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't know the logistics of it when we first met them. We didn't know
Yeah.
how the price modeling would work, all that, but you just have to trust in the process that if you have a baseline of the same thinking, that the rest of it will fall into place, because you have shared value.
You're so right. It's a great place to start.
Yeah.
And what about your good news or legacy story that you'd like to share in closing?
I saw your question in the email, and I found that was a bit of a difficult one to answer, simply because my legacy of being a part of this wellness company would be to bring CBD into the wellness regimes of people in the UK, and eventually beyond. We have plans of growing into continental Europe. It's quite lofty, so I was then trying to peel it back and think of something that would be a little bit more tangible of what could be a takeaway for the next 12 months. And I think that is to be able to successfully launch our product, have success in doing that, and knowing that we've done it based in Canada, also having operations of people in St. Vincent. We have end-to-end licensing with our production facility in St. Vincent, and then also with our team in the UK. And if we can bring all of those people together to launch it, to make it successful, I will think that that has been a huge accomplishment for this year.
You're going to get that done, Jen. I
Yeah,
know it.
thanks. I hope so.
You
I'm
will.
sure it'll happen.
It will. You and your team are amazing. So well done. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thanks.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of your day, my friend.
Okay, have a great day.
Everybody, that was Jennifer Rallison. Check out her business online and promote like mad in the UK, and support wherever you can. Thanks so much for joining us on Cat's Track. Have a great day.